find this GoPro Hero weird. Hey guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Welcome to yet another one of these vlogs of mine. Today was one hell of a freaking day. Look at the freaking sky out there, right? It looks like, oh, it's so blue and a little bit of clouds over there. We had every single possible climate action you could ever have in one freaking day. Woke up this morning. There was like a good 2 millimeter thick, for you guys in America, that's like not that much, but it's still there, of frost on Dirty Bird's window. I don't have a scraper in that car, so I just busted out an old gift card that I had in my wallet and scraped off what I could, fired up the car, let it run for a bit. Doesn't take long for that thing to produce heat. Let me tell you a little something about that. First generation throttle body, boys. They warm up super fast, no problem. Cleared off all the friggin' ice and stuff, discovered that my rear defrost, 5 out of all the bars actually do something. The rest of them are just there for looks. What do you expect, man? The car's from 1988. You know, you can't expect perfection, modern day technology from a car made probably older than most of my viewers, but I digress. Get to work, it's friggin' freezing out. It's like 2 degrees Celsius outside. For you guys in America, I think that's 34 Fahrenheit. Get to work, it's all overcast, it's dark as shit. Feels like it's 6 o'clock in the morning, but it's actually 8. Get into the office, you know, go for my first break, walk outside, it's friggin' snowing. It's friggin' snowing. Alright, I drove Dirty Bird today. I'm like, this can't stick around because I don't have traction in this. Dirty Bird is good for streets. That's it. Put her in the snow, she's sideways. She has no traction. Her arse end will become her front end so freaking fast. Not a good time. No bueno. Luckily, that stopped. Sun came out. That went away by noon. It didn't stick. The snow was melting on impact, but it was still snowing. Sun comes out. Everything looks great outside around noon. So then I'm like, all right, sweet, dope, right on. Maybe the weather will be nice. Maybe tonight I can do something outside before it gets dark, because currently the time is 6 o'clock, and we got about another 25 minutes of daylight for its darkness, because, well, welcome to fall, eh? Welcome to fall. Soon I'll be getting off work and driving home in the dark. I'll drive to work in the dark and drive home in the dark. My only daylight to gain any vitamin D from the sun will be while I'm sitting in the office. Mind you, who'd want to go outside and get a suntan when it's minus 35 freaking degrees, right? But welcome to winter in the north. It is what it is. You just can't win, you can't lose, you just got to deal with it and wait till spring. But yeah, so come 2 o'clock, go out for my other break, and now it's pissing rain. Super black clouds in the sky, just throttling rain. I'm like, holy, make up your frickin' mind. But it's like freezing rain. And I'm like, great. Like, I drove Dirty Bird again today. Like, this can't hold out. These roads can't be glare ice. I do not have the tires on this car to handle this. I'm really pushing my luck driving the car at this time of the year, because I remember, like, last year I drove to work. I was driving the truck, mind you, but I drove to work and it was like nice in the morning, and then when I left work it was like 3 feet of snow. Not 3 feet, maybe a foot of snow on the ground. Like, we just got blasted. And if I have Dirty Bird at work and that happens, I'm screwed. I'm literally screwed. There's no way I'm gonna get that car home. There's no freaking chance in hell that car will hook up in that kind of weather. And the way people drive around here, there's no way anybody's gonna give me any patience to get that car home, because people are assholes and they drive like idiots. So 4 o'clock hits, sunny out. Nice, warm, roads are bare. Dope. Get home. Get home, around 5 o'clock, rains again. I'm like, oh, whatever. And now here we are, and it's not too bad outside, but it's getting dark, and it's freaking cold. I've already turned the furnace on, guys. I woke up this morning, my house was at 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's weird, eh? I talk about Celsius, but my house heats in Fahrenheit because the thermometer is set to Fahrenheit, and I haven't figured out how to change it to Canadian mode, and, well, basically world mode, into Celsius. So I'm so used to the Fahrenheit setting anyway, because my old thermostat was Fahrenheit and I just left it. Had it like that since I bought the house and just never bothered changing it over. They put it in Fahrenheit because they noticed the old one was in Fahrenheit. I guess they set it up like that and figured, nah, he's so used to it, he'll just have it like that. And then I'm like, all right, new thermostat, and go check it's in Fahrenheit. And I'm like, Jesus, Murphy. Every single freaking climate we could have today, we freaking had today. On top of that, this is my favorite part. So apparently, we're still doing COVID, guys. COVID's still a thing. Who knew? Guy comes down from upstairs to ask me some questions about an application that keeps crashing and how to fix it. I tell him how to fix it, and he's like, oh yeah, And just to let you know that so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, pretty much everybody on the 5th floor currently has COVID. And I'm like, what are they doing in the office? Like, I thought there was a protocol in effect. Like, if you're sick, stay home. And he's like, oh, you're only allowed to stay home for 2 days and then you got to come back. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, good thing we got that herd immunity going on. Apparently that's a thing, right? Herd immunity, where you just come into the office and infect everybody, so everybody gets infected and they're good for 3 months and they can't get infected again. So, sure enough, he's up there with all these guys that are coughing and puking and dying and all that. And he comes down to tell me, and I haven't interacted with any of these guys, so chances are I'm probably carrying COVID, which I'm hoping I'm not, because not this weekend, but next weekend, I have my martial arts tournament and I already paid for it. That cost me a bill $75 for the entrance, and then another $230 for the hotel room. And I really don't want to cancel because none of that is refundable. I can't refund my tournament pay and I can't refund the hotel because once you book it, you're locked in, no cancellation. And I don't want to be out $400 because some inconsiderate prick came into my office to tell me that everybody's sick while he's sick himself. Really don't need that information. You know, we got this great program at work called Teams. You can chat with people. And no, he insists to bring his infected ass into my office to talk to me. So really appreciate that. And my problem is when I get COVID, I don't know. I don't know if I got COVID. I have no idea. I don't get the symptoms. I don't get sick. I cough a little bit, but you know, it's this time of year I cough anyway because furnaces are running and they suck all the friggin' hydration out of the oxygen in your house. So it's like you get dry throat, you cough, right? At work, it's even worse. I don't know what kind of furnace they have, but I swear that thing there's like the Hydro Sucker 5000, pulls all the friggin' hydrogen out of the air and just feeds you the driest air you could ever inhale. It makes your throat friggin' rawer than a freshly bought steak. Like, oh, so bad. But yeah, like last time I had COVID was in 2022, and my boss was like, well, I'll bring your laptop to your house tonight and you can just friggin' you can just work from home until you check in negative. And I was like, dope. That's what we'll do. And sure enough, when she showed up to drop off my laptop, there I am, manhandling the boat, putting it away in the boathouse. And she's like, I thought you were sick. And I'm like, no, I have COVID. I feel fine, but I'm testing positive. 6 friggin' feet, you know? Stay the hell back. This is the one time in life that sharing isn't caring. Friggin' Rona's going around the office pretty bad. And I don't want to miss my martial arts thing. Like, this is the first time I can actually go to this camp and do this tournament. And I really want to friggin' go to this camp and do this damn tournament. You guys are watching this after the thought because this comes out the Monday. I'm already back and working. Unless I got COVID, then I'm sitting at home probably talking to a camera. And here's my favorite part about COVID, right? So apparently we're still doing it. As I mentioned, it's still a thing. It's still happening. People are getting it. I was told the new symptoms aren't really coughing and headaches. Now you just shit your pants a bunch. Well, anybody who's watched my videos knows I do that anyway. Like, I fart all the time. Like, I got videos on me farting. So like, how am I gonna know if I have it? How am I gonna know if I have it? Like, honestly, I'm a poop machine gun normally. So like, if I become a poop minigun, then I got the Rona. Because you can't get the tests anymore. Nobody carries the tests anymore. Apparently you gotta buy them. And I'm not wasting money on a cotton swab, some friggin' a little puddle of juice, and a little applicator, you know? I got better things to spend money on, like Monster energy drinks and rain. That ain't gonna become an expense. That much is for sure. But yeah, we're doing COVID, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do? So hopefully, when Buddy came into my office today, all infected as frig, his little parasitic ass didn't get me infected. Like, I feel fine right now, so that's cool. A little tired, but I didn't get much sleep last night. Martial arts yesterday, guys. I ranked up. I'm now a blue belt. Scores. So that's pretty dope. I get to go to the fight club tournament. I don't know, Modern Arnis camp. I get to go to that as a blue belt now, which I guess they're gonna expect more from me. So I'm gonna have to deliver more. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And coach is already planning to grade again come the end of spring. So blue to green, and then the next after green is purple, and then brown, and then in order to get black, I have to jump the border and go to New York, Seneca, New York to be precise, where the Modern Arnis Alliance, World Modern Arnis Alliance School is located. And then I got to get graded by Datu Hartman whether or not I qualify for my black belt. And then I get to start going like black belt, and you get different ranks and that up to 10. And coach was like, yeah, once you become a black belt, you can pretty much open a school. But you can't open a school in North Bay because this is my territory. And if you did that, you'd be shit on by the WMAA. So I was like, yeah, well, I'm not planning on opening a school. So no big deal, bud. No big deal. It's just funny. It's just funny. But I better be able to go to this camp because like there's a lot of cool shit going on, guys. There's going to be MMA 5-time champion kickboxer there, and he's going to be teaching us a bunch of shit. There's going to be a 5th Dan karate guy who specializes in hand locks and wrist locks. That stuff's pretty fun. Friggin' there's going to be a bunch of people there, a bunch of like heavyweight guys that are into modern arnis showing us different things. There's going to be tomahawk training. There's going to be stick and dagger training or sword and dagger, whichever you choose. It's gonna be freaking too legit to motherfriggin' quit. I can't wait. It's gonna be a blast. I'm gonna have fun. Better not have the Rona, because if I have to miss this, lose out $400 freaking dollars on top of losing out on that training, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm gonna be really mad. All because they have me sitting in an office letting people just walk in nilly-willy, ask questions. No bueno, not cool. But I guess we'll have to wait and see, right? Once again, only time I know I have COVID is if I test. I'm not buying the tests. I refuse to buy those damn tests. I'm not wasting. I don't know how much they're charging for them, but I was told upwards of like 17 bucks for a kit, and you get like 5 of them in there. Just like the boxes they were handing out during COVID. Go to Walmart, go through the cashier, and they had a whole pile there, and you could just load like 2 or 3 into your basket. Now they're charging for them. I knew that was gonna happen though. We all knew that was gonna happen. And they're still vaccinating people. People are still out there getting the jab, and some of them are on their 10th, 11th vaccinations. And no, I just needed 2 for work because of the business that I'm in and for who I work for. They demanded that you had your 1st and your 2nd vaccination. I did 3, mind you, because I thought we had to have all 3. So I did 3 of them. I don't know, I didn't get any side effects. I got nothing out of it. People were complaining about sore arms. Other people were complaining about nearly dying from the vaccine. And I got nothing. I got no effects. So, wait, no, there was an effect. I started dating women again. And that kind of made me mental in the brain. Okay, there was one side effect. I got lonely and thought female companionship was the answer. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I'm cured. I learned my lesson. Female companionship was not the answer. It definitely was not. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what comes of this. But let me know what the climate's like in your area. Is it friggin' going stupid? Like they're calling for, well, the Weather Network was talking about something about the polar vortex loosening up or some bullshit. And apparently it's going to sweep through mid-US and northern US, and it's going to make for a colder than normal winter. What they failed to mention was, what's it gonna do to central Ontario? Now, last year when this happened, my buddy Chuch, you guys, if you've been here long enough and you remember the old Grand Theft Auto days, Chuch at Big Time was one of the guys who would race with us. And he used to tell me the weather down in his state. I think it's Ohio. Could be Iowa. I get them two mixed up all the time, even though they're not even spelled the same. I don't know America geography because, you know, I'm from Canada and we never learned that in school because it wasn't important because not our country. But he's from somewhere down there in the middle of the Americas, and his days were actually, he was like, oh man, it's so frigid here, it's like friggin' 24 out. And I'm like, 24 Celsius? Bro, that's friggin' beautiful. That's t-shirt weather. He's like, no man, 24 Fahrenheit. And I'm like, oh, 24 America, so my bad. And he's like, so I'd have to jump on the old Google and be like, hey, what does this translate to in the rest of the world? And then it would fart out the number and I would know. And then I'm like, holy shit, why is it colder there when they're closer to the equator than we are? And it's because last year this polar vortex bullshit happened then, where it swooped through the middle and the northern US, and it's the same reason why Toronto got blanketed with snow last year. And I think I fired up the snowblower, what, like twice? Once to make sure it worked and once to actually clear the end of the driveway because I just didn't feel like shoveling it. Other than that, I didn't even touch the blower last year. I barely even needed it. We barely got snow and the lake barely froze, and people had to barely check their insurance because they barely made it on the ice and put their trucks through the water and ATVs through the water or through the ice into the water. But yeah, that's good times for you right there, right? So is this year going to be the same? Is it going to be one of these winters where we get a couple days of -20, but it's mainly sitting in the -5 to -10 category? Where it's not too bad but not too great? And the biggest thing about last year that sucked was it was super windy all the time. So Yeah. Or is that polar vortex bullshit gonna actually cause this lake to freeze pretty good, where your old boy can finally fire up his ice fishing sled? And by that I mean just drag it behind me like a freaking mule. Go out on the ice, rip a couple holes, set up a tent, and give her. Do the old polar dangle, because I do have a new reel that I want to use. I bought it off of Temu last year for ice fishing season. Never set it up because we never went ice fishing because the ice was not safe. And I'd like to do that this year. I got some Amazon there Prime days today and yesterday. If you guys are wondering, it's the 9th right now. But today and yesterday was Prime days. I ordered a new for painting lures. And in case you didn't know what that was one of those air guns, airbrushes for painting with airbrush paint. Yeah, I ordered. This one comes with a compressor, which is kind of cool. And what I'm thinking about doing with that guy is during the winter, when I'm 3D printing up lures, I might just set up a little airbrush like a thing out of cardboard so that I can just airbrush in my computer room, and using a vacuum and a couple of, not vacuum, but using a couple computer fans that I have and a filter, I'm going to use it to suck the overspray into the filter and blow the air out. I'm thinking that might be a good solution so that I can practice airbrushing in the winter and maybe get a couple lures done, so come next year I can get out there and try and catch fish on custom made lures. Yeah. And I also ordered some ice braid to put on that new reel because it was on Prime. It was on sale. They want like 25 bucks at Canadian Tire, and they had it on for 14 bucks on Amazon, and I'm like, scores, add to cart. You know, and I also ordered one of those third hands for soldering, but us bait makers, we like to use them to hold the bait while we let them cure or whatever. So I have one in the garage, but it's my buddy's mom's old one, and the problem with it is it only has one gator clip and the other arm's completely missing on it, so that you can't add another gator clip. And that's the one that I use to dry off the rattle trap and the crankbait that I brought down south to blokes to fish with. So, and I'm also thinking about outfitting this paint booth with UV lights. So when I put my UV clear coat on it, I can just turn on the LEDs and blast it with UV to cure it instantly. The more UV, the more intense, the better the job. But I did also find these things online where you take like a tomato soup can or a tomato juice can, cut it in half, and you turn it into an open close type operation where you use those same UV strips, line the can with it, and then it basically does the same job. Lure floats in the middle on a wire trap. You close the can around it, turn it on, and it just irradiates it with ultraviolet rays, causing everything to cure. So yeah, like I said, guys, welcome to the fall/winter, where instead of rain we get snain. That's a combination of snow rain, and I have no idea what to make videos about, but I figured I would talk to you guys about this whole day of wacky weather, as well as potentially having COVID, because people don't respect boundaries, because, you know, that's people nowadays. They just don't respect boundaries. They just don't care about anything and have no problems just coming into your office and being like, oh, by the way, I have COVID right now and I'm 3 feet away from you because cool. Idiots. Anyway, it's friggin' Wednesday. Tomorrow and Friday I get to work from home, so that's like my favorite. I love this work from home Thursdays and Fridays. Even though I still have to work, the fact that I only have to leave the house tomorrow night to go to Arnice for Panantucan, it's like having a long weekend every weekend, you know? Thursday, Friday from home, Saturday and Sunday you're off, and then back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Still have to work, but the fact that I don't have to leave and don't have to people as hard, just got to talk to them on phone or over Teams, or, you know, they can't come face to face because I ain't letting anybody through that back door. Are you kidding me? Frig that. But upcoming, we got a video coming out soon. I got to film it yet, but it's going to be coming out soon. My buddy's dad gave me, well, didn't give it to me, but he asked me if I'd take a look at his old laptop. He told me it was a Dell, but I looked at it and it's an actual Acer. It's an Acer laptop. I've never seen this model before. It's an i7, don't know. He says it takes a week to turn on and it's slower than molasses in the winter, and he wants to see if I can do something with it. Now I got a bunch of spare parts around here, some old SSDs that I bought for projects that I never actually put into fruition. I got a couple RAM kits for machines that I've upgraded. We're going to upgrade it to 16 gigs of RAM from whatever the frig it has now. I don't know if it's 8 or if it's 12. When I looked up the model number online, it was giving me different specs for different machines. Some of them had GTX cards. This one I know doesn't. And some of them had 12 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of RAM, and 4 gigs of RAM. Could you imagine trying to work with 4 gigs of RAM? chances are this machine might just have 4 gigs of RAM. It has Windows 10, and the problem is my buddy's dad never made a recovery disk for it because why bother? So stock, it comes with a 5400 RPM hard drive, which, you know, reliability, not too bad, but as far as efficiency, no bueno. Slower than molasses in the winter. So I'm going to make a video on trying to take a potato and make it into a Camaro. I don't know why I name dropped Camaro, but Camaro has to drive faster than a potato, right? It's gotta be faster. I think so. Could be wrong. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a weird day. Probably gonna be a weird night. Probably gonna be a weird week. No, it's been a weird week. It's been a weird week. So once again, I was gonna make the video tonight working on that Acer, but that video is gonna come out trying to bring an old potato back to life and give it some new life. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you guys have any video ideas, because your boy's out. Like, the weather sucks. I can't go outside. Had a great idea to drag the kayak and go bang out 4 Mile Lake, but I really don't want to do that at 5 degrees Celsius because you get wet in the kayak, even though it's a sit-in kayak and you're completely covered. Well, you're not completely covered, but you still get wet. Like, you're paddling, water comes down the paddle, lands on your crotch. You get frostbite. Not a fun time. You know, all my outdoor activities are pretty much kind of kiboshed. But if you guys have any ideas, I'm going to think up some ideas too, so don't worry about that. But I don't know, suggestions are always good. I know people like the cooking. Well, they used to love the cooking with the hobo videos. But I can't think of any recipes that I want to do. Because your boy needs to start losing a little bit of weight, because he's kind of been eating the carbohydrates a little too heavy lately, which is why he's been farting on the video. It's been OMAD for the past 2 days. I've only eaten lunch and no supper and no dessert, because that's a problem that I had too, was dessert. I've been kind of indulging. Mind you, it wasn't like sugar stuff. It was sugar-free stuff, but it's still calories, and that's how you pack on the pounds, by eating more calories than you spend. Also haven't been hitting the weights as much as I've wanted to lately. Got to get back on that. Got to get back on that hard, you know? Back on that hard. But anyway, guys, I'm going to shut her down here. I've been rambling for a while and pacing back and forth like an idiot. And some of you guys like these videos because it's just me talking about bullshit and nonsense. And I know some people don't. So, you know, to each their own. But yeah, I got some ideas. I got some stuff I want to do, even with the gaming computer, the Acer Nitro Loser 55,000 friggin' Best Buy Special of the Week. They released a new version of that computer, eh? This year's version is the exact same as the version I have, except instead of the 13400 Intel i5, it has the 14400 Intel i5 with the exact same core count and efficiency core counts, and it's like 0.2 gigahertz faster, but it still has that 4060 in it. It still has the 16 gigs of RAM. It still has the 1 terabyte hard drive. So the video that I want to make is basically gonna be valid for anybody who goes out and buys that unit and is thoroughly depressed when they install a bigger video card and end up turning their Acer Loser Nitro suckface into a smoke machine, because that's pretty much what will happen. So this is the reason why those computers come with a 4060, is because they're underpowered video cards, but they perform better than a 3060 apparently. Even though the stats on them don't match up, apparently they perform better than a 3060 on paper. So cool. Thanks for watching. Like, favorite, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. This winter might be a bunch of nerdy videos because that's all I got left to really do, that I don't have to leave the house and freeze my nuts off. So until next time, guys, peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.